Hello and welcome to the official highlight show of the second round of the 2020 Rotax MAX Euro Trophy season, being held here in Bavaria in Germany at the Prokart Raceland circuit in Wackersdorf. 5 classes with 115 drivers representing 18 different nationalities, including the United States of America, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Sweden, Great Britain, Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany, and a whole lot more. The Deutsche Elektrokartmeisterschaft joins us for our halfway point of the season, as they also have their halfway point after a quick turnaround at the opening round just a week ago in Kerpen for the DKM. So without further ado, let's have a look at the highlights of what transpired over the 2 days of competition here in Bavaria. And it's lights out, off and away for DEKM pre-final 1. Great start by Luca Vloma with Axel Laflamme trying to go round towards the outside. As Vloma initially has a 3/10 of a second advantage over Axel Laflamme. Wiskirchen in third. But Stifter has gone up the inside of Wiskirchen, who now also gets passed by Jolmesh. As Wiskirchen off. It looks like Axel Laflamme is closing on Luca Vloma. Seems like the drive is still trying to push. Or the E9 of Jolmesh as Luca Vloma takes the win ahead of Axel Laflamme. And then it was literally a drag race to the finish for third place. Lights are on, we are off and away, and it was a good start. This time Axel Laflamme gets a really good run, goes side by side and hits wheels with Luca Vloma, going into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. We will now see how these drivers get an opportunity to move up the order as they filter their way through. As now Axel Laflamme goes for the lead up the inside of Vloma. This time, it doesn't wait for Luca Vloma. It's Axel Laflamme from Great Britain that wins the final on day 1 of competition for the DEKM. Let's see who gets the run down to turns 1, 2 and 3 as we go off and away. Great start there by Axel Laflamme, who quickly slots in front of Luca Vloma. Well, that is Diego Stifter that is actually leading the way, so we make our way through into turn number 12. Laflamme is actually down in third position. As Vloma goes up the inside of Stifter, forces his way through. Sebastian Kraft from Switzerland rounds out the top 6. As Philipp Wiskirchen closing on Alice Spiezia from the USA, who's doing a great job at the moment. Rounding out the top 7 positions. So at the moment, that was Jolmesh that lost, now has gone up the inside of Diego Stifter, and that allows Sebastian Kraft in the E10 to now close up. as Jolmesh has got past Axel Laflamme for second place, but Laflamme goes up the inside, steamrolls past, runs wide through turn 14. Yolmesh goes side by side, but Axel Laflamme sweeps up in front. Most to get past Axel Laflamme. He's got one more run to do it. Oh, he's managed to do it. He managed to get past, and then there's now what's happened with Axel Laflamme, because he's dropped down. He nearly lost out, but he's going to try and power past, and he pulls round the outside, taking second as Luca Vloma takes the win. As the red lights go out, we've got racing again. Axel Laflamme gets a great start and manages to keep Luca Vloma at bay, trying to go into turns 2 and 3 and takes the initial lead. Then it is Diego Stifter in second. As Axel Laflamme runs wide and spins off, and that's the drama for the Briton. And now it is a very different story altogether. So he will have to pull it into the pits, and that is a real difficult end to the weekend, which was looking ever so promising after yesterday's success with him hitting the top step of the podium. As Ellis Spiezia trying to close up on Philipp Wieskirchen for position, looks towards the inside of the 95, going through turn 10, now into turn 11 goes the American and sweeps up the inside, and here comes Yasmin Stein. Vloma sweeps up the inside of Mesh through into turn 3 and gets back for second position. To go for that victory. He's got a real good run of pace down through turn 3. A little bump from behind on the front spoiler. Vloma goes towards the outside, gets the switch back. The pair go side by side. Stifter keeps a hold of the lead on the final lap, but Vloma doing everything in his power to try and get past and get the victory in the dying throes through turn 7. Line astern of the front 2, through 8, through into 9 and into the left at 10. And Luca Vloma has got a real good run of pace going towards the outside through turn 11. If he's going to try and do something, he's either going to do something through turn 11 or through the final corner. Puts on the brakes severely there, gets the switch back he needs. He goes side by side. Stifter trying to force the issue. Vloma trying to go towards the inside, but Stifter still keeps it. But he gets the run. Vloma's going to try and do his best to get a drag race, but it's by a fraction for Diego Stifter that takes the victory ahead of Luca Vloma in a drag race finish. They come round the final corner. Into the tram lines we go for the first time. Full start. Round the final corner for the second time we go. They split. Revs rise. This time we are lights out and off and racing. And Babikova instantly goes on the defensive as Felix goes up the inside of Mulders to take second place. The leader, Eliska Babikova, is now there's a change for second. Schoenmaker is up the inside of Magnus Pedersen. Now that it's allowed other drivers, but as the field concertinas, as Farid Mega is absolutely flying at the moment, and he's now got past the 231 of Rafael Venhofer, as it looks like there's being a move attempted and completed by Freddie Spindlow, and that was a little bit of a tussle there with the 255 of Karol Schultz, who now gets passed by Farid Mega through turn 12. The come out of the final corner looks like Farid Mega's being closed in on by Kian Agassade in the 225. That's the battle for 15th, 16th and 17th, but in the meantime the gap has started to be closed. Just over 5¼ minutes plus an additional lap to go. Schoenmaker is looking to make a mark as we've got double waved yellows at Marshall post number 1. Helix closes up. Schoenmaker has got Babikova in the draft and has Felix there too. Babikova waiting. not going through turn 3, but then Felix closes up at a consummate rate of knots, and then Babikova up into the inside of Sean Mackers, and then Sean Mackers loses another place as he runs wide through the overtaking procedure initiated by Eliska Babikova. Felix gets past for second. Into turn 4, puts the brakes on quickly to not allow Babikova an opportunity to go up the inside. It's now Babikova up the inside of Felix, who runs a little bit wide, and there's nearly a clash, an interlock of wheels between him and his teammate. That allows Valentin Plus and Tim Gerhards to get through, so Sean Mackers, within a couple of corners, drops down from what would have been second position now down to 5th place. But the German sitting in around about 14th position ahead, as now the lead changes once again. Felix gets back in front ahead of Babikova. Valentin Plus waiting for the opportunity to seize the moment when it presents itself. Valentin Plus has got past Eliska Babikova, who now retaliates up the inside through turn 12. Freddie Spindlow, Magnus Pedersen and Tim Gerhards are closing. Lead now for Felix is at just over 0.6 of a second, as unfortunately Nikita Genza is out. Thomas Stauben looks to have parked it. Oh, Tim Gerhards nearly ran into the back there of Babikova, who goes back up the inside of Spindlow. Oh! Pedersen and Gerhards, and now Sean Mackers go past the Brits, but the battle for third really heating up as Freddie Spindlow goes around the outside towards the outside of Lukas Sean Mackers into turn 6 to try a brazen move in the dying stages, as now Gerhards drops down into 5th place. Eliska Babikova looks to have secured a top 3 finish, but it's dependent on how long it's going to take for Lukas Sean Mackers to go up the inside, and he does so through turn 11. Babikova retaliates, tries to go towards the outside and powers past Sean Mackers through into the approach into turn 12. This time though, however, the checkered flag will wave. Kai Hillertz back on fighting form, takes the win ahead of Valentin Plus. Third place will go to Eliska Babikova ahead of Lukas Sean Mackers and Tim Gerhards. Into the tram lines that we go. Do we go green for this time around? We do. And a great start from Kai Felix, who manages to keep the lead for the moment. As Valentin Plus tries to go up the inside, but Freddie Spindlow side by side with the German goes into P2 through turn 4. Felix leads from Spindlow. Plus in 3rd place. There's an absolute train going down into turns 2 and 3, which involves the likes of the 225 of Can Agastade from Germany, as Spindlow goes up the inside of Helitz to take the lead. Valentin Klus powers past the pair of them on the run down to turn 13. Helitz follows through past the German, getting past the Brit, but Spindlow responds. Across the line they go. Klus now leads, but has in the meantime been kept behind Can Agastade from Prokart Racing Team on the Sodi chassis. Austin Lee up to 23rd as now Freddie Spindlow loses out to both Tim Gerhards and Farin Mega. Oh, off goes Carol Schultz from France and drops way down the order. Top 10. Raphael Henhofer, who started in 9th round, is in 11th position as Pedersen goes up the inside of Farin Mega, who's also lost out to Freddie Spindlow. Just under 5 minutes remaining, 4 minutes and 48 plus an additional lap, as up the inside of Tim Gerhards goes both Valentin Klus and Freddie Spindlow. So the pair, as now Spindlow goes up the inside of Klus through turn 6 as Farin Mega tussles with Tim Gerhards, and it nearly pitches around Magnus Pedersen. Lukas Sean Mackers, and Sean Mackers makes the place. Oh my goodness, Thomas Martins bumps into the side of Bruno Malders in the 277 through turn 8. Farin Mega tries to thread the eye of the needle between Thomas Stauben and Max Cabin. Oh, Mega goes sideways through turn 11. I think Freddie Spindlow will be quite happy with a 4th and a 2nd here this weekend at Wackersdorf, as Nikita Genza loses out once again. This time to Thomas Stauben, who's just got past, but Kai Hillertz does the double here in Germany. lines. Red lights on the gantry. Revs rise. Clean start. Off and away we go. Olsen going side by side up the inside of Butcher, who loses out to Mads Rees. Butcher now slots back into fourth position as a couple of drivers run wide going into turn 4. And there's been a couple of clashes, and there's one upper. There's been one that's been spun around and everyone tries to avoid. Vincent France, who was definitely in the thick of things, gets up the inside of both Butcher and Mads Rees going into turn 13. Butcher tries to go up the Dane, up the inside of the Dane, and gets past. But then you've also got the 381 of now, that is Kian Sang. He's now up into 7th position. Britain. Olsen, after just one lap, had a gap of nearly 0.7 seconds between herself and Lewis Gilbert. Sean Butcher, who said to me, well, we didn't have the pace, but I'm hoping for something big here today on finals day, as we've had someone off in the barriers. Is that Kian Sang that's just gone off? Robinson, France, Mads Rees, Charlie Turner. The 318 of Fabian Bock being followed by Mark Kimber, who's now got past the German through turn 11. As now Lewis Gilbert gets the lead, and Sean Butcher nearly makes it 3 wide, coming out of turn 12. Oh my goodness me! And that was Butcher, I think, went on the back bumper of Lachlan Robinson, as it was 3 wide, and they've managed to keep running. That's Mark Kimber that goes up the inside. Is now Lachlan Robinson loses out of position. 5-second penalty for the 360, and that is Philip Vava. Send that gap 0.581. Lachlan Robinson still holds the fastest lap, but Matilda Olsson, Lewis Gilbert and Sean Butcher, and with them Mark Kimber, they are running in the 49.8s, with Mark Kimber being the quickest of the quartet on a 49.803. 4.5 minutes remaining, and there is an almighty tussle. Looks like Kimber got past Sean Butcher, and Robinson fancied an opportunity through the inside of turn 6, but Butcher shuts the door. 49.853 second lap time from the Swede on the 300, and it's the 329 as Lachlan Robinson goes up the inside, and that is dramas for Matilda Olsson. Olsson's lost the lead big time. What happened there? So Lewis Gilbert, as they complete lap number 13 with just over 3 minutes to go, leads. Mark Kimber and Lachlan Robinson ran out the top 3. Robinson fancies a chance. Kimber goes up the inside of Gilbert. Robinson goes through as well. There was nearly enough room for Sean Butcher, but it was a window that was closing rather quickly. But Lachlan Robinson now gets the signal to push him into high gear. One more lap to go. Robinson closes on Kimber through turn 3. Tries to get the run on the 387 towards turn 4. Cuts into the apex and goes for the lead and gets up the inside of the 387. They tussle trying to go into turn 5. Kimber back up the inside. Lachlan Robinson did have one chance there, but now with Lewis Gilbert closing on the pair in front. Mads Rees now with them. Factor in the 2 behind Luca Lystra and also Matilda Olsson. This is going to be ultra close as Mads Rees tries to do the switch back through turn 11 on Lewis Gilbert. Olsson up the inside of Lystra through turn 12. Over the bump through into turns 13 and 14. Vincent France goes side by side and tussles with Lystra. But this time in final one here, Mark Kimber takes the win. Lachlan Robinson and Lewis Gilbert round out the top 3. Mads Rees in 4th, Matilda Olsson in 5th. We come round the final corner. Revs rise. Lights go out and we are off and racing, as it is 2 by 2 between the top 2 rows. But Kimber gets the initial getaway. Gilbert past Robinson as Olsson looks to have dropped a few places. Vincent France gets pounced on by Matilda Olsson, and the Swede gets past for 5th. see as we've had someone go off, and that is Lewis Gilbert. Robinson scored 5 points again, and Robinson's got the lead through the inside of turn 11. Nicely done by the UAE-based driver, based out of Dubai. He's got past Mark Kimber. Very, very respected and very, very hard charging within karting circles. He joined us at the Winter Cup, back at Karting Campos in late February. Now Kimber returns the favour through turn 3. Who wants it the most? Who is going to push it to the limit of adhesion? Luneblum is out, unfortunately, and I spot the driver just off of the on the marshalling post, just off of turn number 8. 387 of Mark Kimber from Great Britain does the double here in Wackersdorf, and he knows it. One hand in the air. Lachlan Robinson brings himself into the title fight big time by taking second. Sean Butcher takes third, also bringing him to the party, and Matilda Olsson will, provisionally speaking, have a 5-point advantage. They start to split and head into the tram lines. Easy does it. Let's see. When the revs rise, do we go lights down and racing? Race director calls it a clean start, and we go off and away, and Peter Bezel gets muscled out the way by Niklas Keynes, who gets passed up into second positions. The field now makes its way. Oh, a little bit of tussle between the leaders. Janchevsky has a little bit of a clash there with Niklas Keynes, but the pair get away with it. Janchevsky leads. Shriblak now up into second past Keynes. We've had a full course yellow. Red flag has been called. So Shriblak has got a fight on his hands, as there's an absolute swarm of DD2 karts just behind the 402 from Belgium. They come across the line. 2 tenths separate first from second. It's upside. 11 minutes and 23 seconds still to go. Mick Knowlton trying to go up the inside of Zendarua for 5th place. Gets through on turn 3. Darua looked up the inside, through into turn 4, but couldn't go through. Florian Breitenbach, and it is a confirmed retirement for Niklas Keynes. So we are down from 22 starters on the full restart, down to 18. So Zander Shriblak continues to lead Zendarua. Well, Zendarua, what's happened to him? That's my biggest question here, because he was running in 5th place. So Zendarua has parted. I think Manuel Techa, he's just trying the steering out, seeing what's wrong with the cart, as it comes down to the driver's field. Penebes will also can factor into this, because he'll have 40 points to his credit. That'll put him ahead of Zander Shriblak, and that will put them amongst Vampirized, Tenscher and Silas Ritter. Matthias Lund is on 29 points, and he's rounding out the top 10, so it's going to be incredibly tight in terms of the point standings. We come into just under the last 60 seconds of this race. Final lap board is shown to Zander Shriblak. His lead over Peter Bezel is now 5.5 tenths of a second. Daniel Mahacek, if he wants to get second place and get himself up the standings, he's got to do something on this last lap. Then you have Florian Breitenbach, who started down in 20th position, has profited significantly He's sixth ahead of Nicola Pico, who has Sebastian Janchevski tries to go up the inside of Nicola Pico. Pico shut the door, and Sebastian Janchevski went barreling into the back of him. But Sander Schublak takes the win in final one. Ahead of Peter Bezel, Daniel Mahacek rounds out the top three. Race director looking again for a clean start. Red lights on the gantry. They crawl their way into the tram lines. Revs rise. Clean start called and we're off and away. As now Mick Knowlton looks to be passed going into the first couple of corners. As they filter their way down into turn 4 for the first time. Lonesome in 10th place, but Mark Bartels just gets passed by Glenn Van Parijs for 11th position. Now the fight back begins. But it's the fight at the front that is also going to provide a new chapter in this story in 2020. As now Van Parijs strikes past Jakob Bezel for position. Up into 8th goes the Belgian. Now Zenderua fancies his chance at the defending champion and goes up the inside and manages to make the move happen and doesn't allow Jakob Bezel to retaliate through turn 7, 8 and 9. And that is over. 7th position is now the lead changes through turn 11. Florian Breidenbach gets past Sander Schublak for the lead on lap number 9. We now cross the line to complete lap 12 with 4 minutes on the clock remaining. Breidenbach now has a lead over Sander Schublak of nearly 7/10 of a second. Peter Bezel a further 4/10 off. And then who has Nicola Pico actually having gone past him. So the Frenchman back up into P3. Just over a minute and a half remaining. As Florian Breidenbach again goes faster than anybody on the 433 Nice Racing Maranello chassis. Gets a gap of over 1.2 seconds. But this time it is going to be Florian Breidenbach who wins on home soil here at Wackersdorf. Sander Schublak takes second. Nicola Pico takes third ahead of Peter Bezel. Sebastian Janchevski takes 5th for the dying moments of the race from Daniel Mahacek. Glenn Van Parijs holds on to 7th, ahead of Zenderua, Jakob Bezel and Matthias Lund round out the top 10. They keep us waiting with bated breath as they now split. Go into the tram lines. Let's see who punches down on the throttle first. And it looks like we got a clean start, but Michael Becker was caught unawares, I think, as Slavomir Manansky manages to get up into second through turn 3. Got a great start there from 3rd position, so as Michael Becker fell back, he has fallen back as, that's Thomas Schumacher that's now been, he's just had nowhere to go and has been caught out through on the inside of turn number 5. As there was a send and a half from Sebastian Humpelhardt up the inside of Rudy Champion through turn 11 as the Frenchman responds in kind, forces the German wide who drops to the back of the field. As the game of karting chess gets played out between the top 5. Everyone making sure that they hit their braking points, turn in to the apex where they feel comfortable, power out of the corners correctly, ensuring that they have no unforced errors. Now the gap was 0.240 seconds between Pajewski and Moransky. Looks to be a little bit further this time, as Pajewski puts in the fastest lap. Christoph Adams has just been given a 5-second penalty for leaving the tram lines with all 4 wheels. It's 3 seconds if it's 2 wheels outside the tram lines, it's a 5 if it's all 4. Pajewski now trying to, he's opened up a gap, and it is a big gap now because he was over a 10.5 quicker than Slavomir Miransky, a 49.650 second lap time last time around. He crosses line to complete lap number 12. Miransky sets a personal best. Gap now 0.927 seconds. So Rinaldo Premiger looks to have pulled it into the pits. So Thomas Schumacher out on the very first lap, and on lap number 13, Rinaldo Premiger, also representing Switzerland, now will not finish the race. And he gets the final lap board. And the gap now between him and Slavomir Miransky is still 1.413 seconds. But look at it this way, the way that Pajewski has come back and has shown that form that took him to the title last year. Pole position off the qualifying heats. He took 2 heat wins yesterday. Finished second in the third one, which put him on pole position for this first final. And he's going to go into final 2 later on this afternoon on pole as he now comes through towards turn 12 for the last time in this race. And he's also done the clean sweep with the fastest lap. But Roberto Pajewski from Austria in the 5.65 from KSCA Soda Europe takes the checkered flag after 17 laps. Slavomir Miransky in second. Timo Haug in third ahead of Michael Becker and Alessandro Glauser. DD2 Masters splits into the tram lines, hopefully for the final time, as long as we get a good start. Revs rise, lights are out, we're off and away as Miransky gets a really good run as Alessandro Glauser passes Michael Becker through into turn 3, and then the German retaliates through into turn 4, tries to go up the inside, Glauser shuts the door. As up the inside of Miransky goes both Alessandro Glauser and Rudi Champion. Pajewski will put him well and truly into the firing line of firing that warning shot across the bow that this championship will pretty much get, considering he is the defending champion. Who might get the upper hand? And that's one of the beauties of DD2 Masters. It is about taking your time. It is about concentrating on your focus, making sure that you do everything. You expend every single solitary ounce of energy. But no matter how tough it gets for Miransky, that man is a fighter. He showed that in 2018 and in 2020. He is still as fired up as ever, and now he goes up the inside, as does Michael Becker, past Rudi Champion through turn 4. For a fact, if you've won the grand finals, you want to defend your title, and Pajewski won in Sarno last year. Gap now between first and second, up to 0.942 seconds itself. Rudi Champion isn't quite done yet with Michael Becker, I fear, as he closed up on the German going through the exit of turn 12. Final lap that is shown first of all to Roberto Pajewski, then Glauser, Miransky, Becker, Champion, Helfinger, Haug, Adams, Winkler, Dos Santos, who rounds out the top 10. But it has been a masterclass from the defending champion, and he comes back with a bang here in Bavaria, as round the final couple of corners comes Roberto Pajewski, who does the double and celebrates crossing the line by 1.204 seconds. And another title fight where there are two words I need to say: game on. After the dust had settled at Wackersdorf for the second round of the Rotax MAX Euro Trophy season, Kai Gilets from Belgium leads the way in junior Rotax on a total of 95 points after 4 finals. Matilda Olsson is leading the standings in senior Rotax, where the top 6 drivers are covered by just 9 points heading into Italy. Sanne Przyblak now takes the lead from teammate Glenn van Parijs in the race for DD2 Championship glory, with the top 4 covered by just 6 points heading into Italy, and with Sławomir Morański having a significant advantage over Sebastian Humpelhardt, with the Polish driver on 81 points and the German on 56. We could see the tide change at Adria Karting Raceway, which hosts the penultimate race of the season between October 23rd and 25th. So it's Auf Wiedersehen Wackersdorf and Ciao Adria.